This is what happened to all the women from David Dobrik Vlog Squad. We're starting off with Corinna. This is what happened with Corinna after David Dobrik's vlogs. She appeared in the very early stages of the vlogs. She was one of David's oldest friends. They both lived in Chicago and moved to LA to work on growing their social media. When David's vlogs was growing at a great pace and Corinna was getting great exposure from appearing in the vlogs, she used the exposure to grow her Instagram to well over 100,000 followers. She would then go on to join the streaming trend that was started by Ninja. She would play Fortnite on stream and would gain a nice following. She would then go on to date a popular Fortnite streamer, Tfue. Her social media following grew tremendously by dating Tfue, but after they broke up, Corinna slowed down with the streaming and moved on to bigger things, which includes starting an OnlyFans. She was making insane money. She revealed that in her first month of doing OnlyFans, she earned a little over $1 million.
How much money did you make? Oh my fuck.
I made a little over $1 million.
That's just insane. I'm in the wrong business. Damn, if only I had big tits. When David Dobrik stopped posting on YouTube, Corinna stopped relying on him to help her grow her social media following. She's doing great without him. She does that all on her own. She's still doing OnlyFans and is making millions of dollars per month. She also recently bought a farm, which I think is a really smart investment. Another Vlog Squad member who did great for themselves after David Dobrik quit vlogging is Natalie. This is what happened to Natalie after the vlogs. Natalie is also one of David's oldest friends from Chicago. She moved to LA when David asked her to be his assistant. She accepted his proposal and moved to LA to be his assistant. When she started, she was barely appearing on camera until the fans grew to like her, which caused David to showcase her even more in the vlog. Her Instagram also grew as a result of appearing in the vlogs more. When David's brand was growing at a fast pace, he promoted Natalie from assistant to business partner. Her brand was also growing from being associated with David. She was receiving great opportunities from brands which wanted to work with her and get great promotion from her. She would then go on to do modeling for the Sports Illustrated magazine, which was great for her brand exposure. Things were looking great for her and David, but when David got cancelled and decided to quit vlogging, her brand exposure slowed down. She was still doing sponsorships on Instagram for some companies, but not as much as when David was vlogging. Now that David Dobrik returned and uploaded a video for the first time in years, he brought back the podcast with Jason Nash and had Natalie join the podcast to get a female perspective on their discussions. She is still working as David's business partner behind the scenes. Now, two former members who grew their own brand without David Dobrik are Erin and Carly. They first started off as acquaintances of David and started to be more involved in the vlogs as they became closer friends with him. Their role in the vlogs were mainly them reacting to a silly bit or stunt David would compose. Then when David quit the vlogs, Erin and Carly didn't just sit back and wait for David to come back. They created their own podcast alongside Matt King and Mike Sheffer. Their podcast mostly consists of them talking about current events and their personal lives in a comedic way. They built a nice following and have a dedicated, loyal fan base, so it's nice to see them pursue their own thing and bet on themselves, which the same thing happened to Gabby Hanna, who was a big YouTuber in her own right. She would do collabs with David and appear in a lot of his earlier vlogs, until a couple years later they would drift apart and Gabby would focus on her own channel and her music career, which she was trying to grow, but she would take long breaks from the internet because she had to focus on her mental health. She suffered from depression. When she did come back, she would take it slow with uploading videos and not push herself. She still does music and also performs at shows. She seems more happy than ever and she loves what she's doing, and that's all that matters. And another former member who already had a big YouTube channel before meeting David is Liza Koshy, who would go on to date David and would appear in almost every video. They had a good comedic chemistry on camera and they would make a lot of funny bits together. But in 2018 they decided to break up, but they would still remain friends. Liza would show up on the vlogs every now and then, until slowly Liza would fade away from David's life. She would go on to grow her own brand and would later later moved to New York where she can get new and unique opportunities that she can't get in LA. She has kinda stepped away from her YouTube channel, she barely posts anymore, and now she is acting in small TV shows and indie films, as well as doing a little modeling here and there. So she does seem more happy pursuing her dream, and again, that's all that matters. To watch part 1 and see what happened with other former Vlog Squad members, click the video right here. And also to see the downfall of David Dobrik, click this video right here. Goodbye.